Welcome everyone to my Streacom DB4 HTPC upgrade. I did an overview of this case a while back and I knew that I just had to take the opportunity to build into it. It's not often that this happens, but this is one of those products where the first time I saw it, I knew that I just really I wanted to experience it. And this happens to me in particular with cases because I build into so many, and so when somebody does something different, I really want to take a look. And basically all of Streacom's cases are like that. They're really unique. The moment you lay eyes on a Streacom case, you know who built it. And in a way, they're all art pieces, functional art pieces, something that I would like to surround myself with if I can, because what I'm doing in my spare time is thinking about projects that I'm currently working on, builds designed for upcoming product releases, and so you need inspiration. And let's face it, this case in particular, the DB4, is kind of inspiring to look at. But at the same time, Streacom has simplicity about their design and practicality. Extremely high end, I mean beautiful, even sandblasting, anodizing, machining, but the use of extrusion, which is very mass producible and a practical manufacturing technique. I just love what they do with their cases. And I've taken a look at a few Streacom cases in the past. We're definitely going to be taking a look at more in the future. Sadly, I'm going to be saying goodbye to my Danger Den LAN tower, which I've had for what must be nearly a decade now. And I've actually polished this thing after removing the components, and it literally looks like the day that I got it. I've done so many rebuilds and upgrades into this case. I even had liquid cooling in here at one point because it fits a 240mm radiator on the front panel. And this is a special one because Danger Den didn't actually build these in smoked acrylic, but I requested it and they did it for me. I think they might have started offering it after this, but at this point in time, this case is one of a kind. I mean, there's not many of these things left around. And I'm going to be giving it away, so check the video description for how to enter the giveaway. Just the one prize international giveaway. We'll be announcing the winner in about a week on our social media. Now, the components in this build are extremely old, and it's been dead for a bit over a year, and it died over a period of about a year. Just instability, crashing, which became more and more frequent. I suspect that it's the motherboard. So I'm definitely going to be replacing all of these parts. I think I've done videos on the rebuilds that I've done into this thing in the past. I'm probably just going to be keeping the hard drives. Now you can see how much trouble I'm having removing that 24-pin connector. That's never a good sign. It kind of means it's a bit fused into the socket. So yeah, definitely an upgrade, long overdue. So you can see that not only does this case look cool, it also has some really interesting functionality. It actually has passive fanless cooling. And this is the thing that I like about it the most. So the most important part of the aesthetics is the extruded aluminum outer panels. That's what really creates the look of the case, also the shape, but these pieces have a lot of different functions. So first of all, they're very practical. I mean, it's extruded alloy, which is literally the whole idea around it is mass production. It's the aesthetics, but it's also the cooling. So it creates more surface area so that the heat pipes can be connected to the outer walls of the case for heat dissipation. So, a very well thought out, multifaceted design, but at the same time, quite simple overall. I just love these ideas. And there are a lot of add-ons that you can get for this case. So you can see the passive PSU, but there's an upgrade kit for the CPU cooling. So what's included with the case is the LH4. It has 4 heat pipes and 1 heatsink that connects to the outer walls of the case. There's also the LH6, which adds a further 2 heatsinks and 2 more heat pipes. And this takes you from the stock 65 watts of cooling to 110 watts of cooling. And there's also a passive GPU cooler. So yeah, you could build a really interesting system into this case with some of these add-ons, something quite a bit more high-end than what we have here. But we're going to be taking a look at the performance results shortly to see how the passive cooling performs, which is obviously one of the things that we're all interested in. It's really important that you get the installation right, because a slight problem with the installation could lead to not getting the full performance, and obviously in a passive situation the maximum performance is absolutely critical. But the build took me, I think, about 30 minutes, so very easy to build into the case. The layout is interesting. The motherboard kind of fits in the middle, PSU and hard drives underneath, and above is mostly for the cooling or a graphics card or another expansion card of some sort if you want to add it. But yeah, after my build there was still quite a bit of room in this case, mostly because I haven't added a GPU. So you can see the outer panels of the case, they just clip on and they all fit into each other in the corners. They're actually quite heavy because they're very thick, but an amazing design. Now for the temperature results. The CPU in this system is the 65 watt TDP Intel Core i3-8100, and the stock passive cooling of this case can handle 65 watts. But I'm definitely going to go for the 110 watt upgrade, the LH6, mostly due to the climate that I live in. It's almost always above 30 degrees Celsius, and while we were doing this testing it was 32 degrees Celsius ambient, and so we did experience some throttling. The CPU reached 100 degrees Celsius after about 15 minutes, so we had to stop. But if we adjust the ambient to 20 degrees Celsius like we do for all of our testing, you could see that the result came out at 88 degrees, which is within reason for passive cooling like this. But I'd certainly like to take a look at the results with the cooling upgrade. But that's about it for this project. Thanks for watching.